What do you mean by the situation? The ongoing unrests. Okay, I don't have a straight answer right now, but I will give you some historical overview. And at the end of it, you'll be able to see yourself who's responsible. Now, the situation in Haiti right now is after not having a functioning government for so long, gangs have emerged to take control. There's a lot of rampage, destruction, burning down police stations, killing some individuals, and of course, releasing inmates. And then those freed inmates now joining the rampage. It's chaos, a catastrophe. It's horrific. But you cannot just sit here and say that these people have done this to themselves. And I've seen a lot of people come out to say, well, this country cannot, take care of itself. This is a failed country. This is not a safe place. And there's a lot of negativity going around about Haiti right now. But this question that you're asking me right now is very important. So, how did Haiti end up in this position to begin with? On the quest to finding out who's responsible, we're gonna go back in time. So, this Caribbean island, we learn that it was dominated, by the indigenous Taino people. But then they were given borders, forced onto them. And these borders have been forced onto different communities, in the Caribbean, in Africa, by the collective Western thugs who always want to exploit. Now, fast forward to 1492. Christopher Columbus sets foot on the island, calling it Hispaniola, which means Little Spain. So the Spanish, or the Spaniards, took over the island. In 1625, the French also started their settlement on the island. But this was a mix of now several other groups. And as much as the Spanish were dominant, they are also having issues back in Europe with other European powers. And European powers were fighting for colonies at the time, under so many other issues. So on the same island now, you have the Taino people who are saying this is our land. We don't want you guys here, we want to be independent. And they are trying in their endeavors to fight off, their colonizers. And on top of that, you have, the conquerors, the Spaniards, who are saying, now we took over you guys. You are our slaves, you are our property, and all the resources here are our resources. But at the same time, you have other countries showing a lot of interest in the land, in property, in the workers who are freed, slaves. So you have Poland, you have the British, you have, the French. But all these powers are not only interested or fighting for the Caribbean, they're also fighting somewhere else, And so at some point, the Spaniards are getting weaker and the French are getting stronger. And they have been fighting here for a long time. They have been showing interest here for a long time. And in 1625, the French are now making it official. Their settlements are out everywhere in the Caribbean, including Haiti. So as the French became dominant and taking over not only Haiti and some other regions of the Caribbean, they're also taking over in Africa and then every other power was France has got this, France has got this, France has got this, and all that. So the only group that is not really concerned about who's winning and who's losing, who's becoming weaker, who's getting stronger, was this group, the indigenous people. And their only goal, their only ambition and dream was to be free someday. And things were building up, that it wasn't until 1792 that the Haitian Revolution began. And for so many years they fought. And for so many years they, sacrificed. And later in 1804, they became an independent nation. They defeated the French. Now, what will surprise you here is that after more than 20 years later, the French returned to the island and told the people of Haiti that we do not know you as a country. You are still, our subjects. The fact that you defeated us back in the day doesn't mean anything. You are not, a sovereign country. You are still a colony of France. And if you don't want that, you have to pay us. Pay us for the slaves that died during the revolution. Pay us for the property that was destroyed during the revolution. And we'll grant you that sovereignty. But they are saying all that while their warships are at the ready. So they're giving out 3 options. 1, war. 2nd, reparations. And 3rd, remain a French colony. Haiti had not, enjoyed much of its freedom at that time. But remember, the newly liberated nation cannot go back to war. It cannot remain a colony. So the easy way out was paying reparations. France was asking for 150 million francs. But they are, making things difficult because they say they wanted their first payment to be 30 million francs. By that time, this was 6 times more than all Haiti could make in a year. You understand? But they also acknowledge that this is their only option. But they don't have the money. So they borrow from France. I know it's weird. And they did not stop there because this independence date, as we know it, it was deceptively extended for almost every generation to pay. And for Haiti, this means that even in these so-called modern times, Haiti has somehow been under, the French colonial exploitation, you see. But they couldn't get all the money from a French bank, so they turned to the United States. Now, in 1951, the United States occupation of Haiti began. This came after a series of so many things, questions about democracy, questions about leadership, and so on. So at some point, the United States decided that Haiti was not in a position to take care of itself. So they deployed Marines in the nation, and for 19 years, America kind of ruled over the country. America did only take over the country, but it also became kind of significant when it comes to, choosing who's leading the country. Even when it was against the desires of, the Haitian people. We have seen that, the case of 2001, 2004. Remember the Dubai era, leaders who are really oppressive. So I really want to stop it here because we already did a video that is even longer and more educative and more informative about the entire situation. And not just the current situation, but even the history of Haiti, and so many other things, despite the only thing, because we cannot look at the only thing that is happening right now. But Haiti is more than all that is happening right now. So you will find more, and I think the producer will put a link to that video in this video's description. And if you want to know more, please go ahead and watch that video. And I want to thank you again for bringing me to Bold Opinions. I love the questions. You should start bringing more guests here, It doesn't have to be me all the time. I know that, I'm just saying. But thank you again, and thank you to the viewers. We love you all.